Hi there, and thanks for joining us for this season's final installment of Inside F&M Wrestling. I'm Brad Weltmer here for GoDiplomats.com, and joining me as always is Franklin and Marshall head wrestling coach Mike Rogers. Mike, thanks for taking time out to sit down here with us.
Yeah, no problem.
So obviously the topic for discussion today is going to be Rick Durso's run out the NCAA Championships. He took 8th place to become the program's first All-American since 1981. So just to recap a little bit, he started off with a pair of decisions before dropping a narrow 4-3 heartbreaker in the quarterfinals, but then he picked himself up in the consolations with a dominating 13-2 major victory. So just walk us through his performance out in Oklahoma.
With Rick, this is his third time being out there, and I think he was a little bit more poised than he was in the years past. So I think he went out a little bit more prepared, a little bit. He wasn't so caught up in the atmosphere of the event. In his first couple of matches, he just wrestled really tough, really smart. Still a little conservative. I think that's just when you get out there, it's a little hard to completely open up until you get to that All-American round. Once you're an All-American, you can, you just let it fly. So, I think he did a nice job of being very tactful, very smart about his matches, especially the second match. He had a really tough kid from Old Dominion, and he won it on riding time. But it was very smart. He put himself in a lot of good positions, and and I think what really helped Rick was the getting out to Midlands, because it was a very similar situation that he faced in Midlands. Losing in quarters, had to come back, wrestle some tough matches, lost some tough matches, close matches. So he's been in that environment, those situations where he had to win, close matches, had to win on riding time or overtime. So I think he was prepared for any scenario that he was going to face. So his first match was, he won pretty solidly, and second match he upset the number 5. I guess upset. I'd arguably put Rick in the top 5 with any of those guys. And then going in the quarters, he was in the same position last year, same scenario, hitting one of the top seeds in the tournament. And I think Rick did a great job up into the last 40 seconds, 30 seconds of the match. Gave up a last minute takedown. And it was off of Rick's shot, and that's one of Rick's. What's good about Rick, and also what's sometimes his downfall is that he's aggressive. He doesn't shut it off, and he probably could have coasted in and not taken that shot, but that also what wins the matches. So I can't fault him for taking shots. We just have to be a little bit more tactful about when we take our shots and what type of shots we're taking. Rick was in the same situation last year with the Ohio State kid. Got taken down off his shot and put him into the consolations, coming back in. And they call it the blood round for a reason, because you got to win it to keep going, And it was going to be really interesting to see how Rick was going to handle that, because last year he was still kind of mentally, I think he was still caught up in that quarterfinal loss. This was his first year. I think this year he was focused on just winning that match. He let that match go, realized he can't change the outcome, and the best he can do is just move forward. And we did a better job as a coaching staff of really kind of sequestering Rick in his hotel room, and we controlled what he was eating and make sure he's getting time off the mat and make sure he is resting. I think what we did differently than last year was getting his mind off the competition when he's coming back. He came back fresh, and he had a dominant win over a Okie State kid in his own, in his home state. That's a tough thing to do with all those fans and people around, to come back and beat a Okie State kid pretty much in his backyard and do it convincingly. So that was good for to see him come back and finally get that All-American status, and from there, it's really just how high you go, and he had a tough draw, hits the number 1 seed Port coming in that evening. The match, the score looks pretty lopsided, but a lot of it was off, again, Rick's shots. He was being the aggressor, he was going after it, and a lot of it was counters and getting reshots. So again, I can't fault Rick for going after it. So. And then coming back in his last match, it was a tough. He was winning. He was up by 4 points. Had the match pretty much controlled. Won the first 2 periods, and then again he takes a shot and gets, instead of giving up the takedown, he fights it, and the kid ends up. The only thing the kid could do is put him on his back, and that's what he did. And that's how those matches go. Sometimes you have to. You swing for a home run, and sometimes you strike out. Sometimes you get it, and the kid got it and put Rick to his back, and he fought off, but. Ended up putting the kid up by 1 point, and Rick, with 10 seconds left, couldn't get out. But that's going to stick with Rick a little bit. And even though he was an All-American, you can tell he was not satisfied with his performance, and he feels, and I feel, he could do much better. And that's good. That's motivation for next year. And he's taking about a week off, getting caught up in some academics. He had some tests to make up. He's already thinking about next year, and I don't think he's ever going to be completely happy if he doesn't win it. And that's a good thing. That's how competitors think of things. Some guys would be happy with just being an All-American. He realizes that's a huge accomplishment, and for the school and for the program, in 30 some years, to be the first All-American, to kind of get that back on. And we had a lot of alumni, a lot of friends, a lot of people, emailing us, and saying congratulations. And so that's good, and I think that was one of our goals, to kind of bring back that notoriety to F&M. And it was nice for the tournament to recognize that when he became an All-American. They announced at the NCAA tournament it was the first All-American in 32 years for the program, and I think he was kind of he was a feel-good story of the tournament. Wherever he was wrestling, the fans gave up their seats so his parents could get front row on Matt's side for him. So that was pretty cool. When we saw the Diplomat shirts or F&M, people said, we're approaching our fans and things. So again, I think it's good to see that our program's on the way up, and it's good for our recruits and our future recruits to see you can do it here with our facilities, our coaching, our program. You can accomplish your goals to be an All-American and potentially, hopefully, national champ.
Yeah, so not only did we see the first All-American in 32 years, but we saw the program's first winning season since 2006. And, some of the highlights from the season, the team took a championship at the Mid-Penn Duels, took down Bucknell at home for the first time in years. So what do all these accomplishments say about the program and the direction that you and your coaching staff are taking it in?
I just think as a program, you look at certain things from the outside, indicators of if the program's moving in the right direction. And I think those are all indicators that we're moving in the right direction. Beating Bucknell at home, had to do it with moving guys around. This shows that we're moving in the direction we're trying to move in. We still want to do more. Obviously, we're not completely satisfied with our final result. I don't think anyone would be, just because as a competitor, as a coach, you're always trying to move forward. But I think we also have to take into account where we were 4 years ago with 8 guys in the program and forfeiting 4 or 5 matches each dual meet, and coming from that in less than 4 years to where we're at now is tremendous progress. Without scholarships, with the difficulty of getting into school and all the things we got to deal with, every program has its cross to bear. Whether it's location or difficulty of school or scholarships or funding or whatever it is, you just find a way to make it work. And I think we're finding our niche. We're finding the way to make it work. And it's exciting. It's exciting and it's nice to see the individuals. Success with Rick, but also those team wins, those dual meet wins, helps the whole program, because everyone's a part of it. Whether you win your match or not, whether you kept that match close, and that helped us get a dual meet win. And we've had a couple great stories with Chucky. He won the Bucknell match for us. He won the Mid-Penn Duels for us with his big wins coming through. And that was, that's a sophomore that moved down to 97 for us, and those wins helped us get dual meet wins. And that's great to see younger guys starting to take more of a commanding role in the program too.
Great. Well, thanks for sitting down here with us throughout the season, and congratulations again on all your accomplishments.
Thank you. Hopefully next year we'll increase what we've done.
All right, and thank you for tuning in throughout the season. Be sure to like F&M Wrestling on Facebook, follow them on Twitter, and subscribe to the GoDiplomats YouTube page.